books, and if I need some help in books, my mom would help me. It's good because you can learn stuff when you read.
Well, you know, my favorite book would be Killer Angels.
One of my favorite authors is Dr. Seuss, and everybody loves Dr. Seuss.
I have a lot of favorite authors, but one of my favorite really is Dr. Seuss.
Good morning, students. It's great to be at Gilchrist. You know that Gilchrist is one of the highest performing elementary schools in the entire state of Florida. And what's the reason for that, you think? So we help each other out. How about the great teachers that you have? You think that has something? Do you love your teacher? If you like your teacher, let's give the teachers and Principal Souls and the administrative team, support staff a big hand as we get started. Before we get started, I wanted to recognize Heather Mitchell with the United Way. They have been our partner on everything that we do in our school district. The United Way is not only in our community to reach out and help, they're now in our community to support educational efforts, and they're our partner on Reading Pals, and later on today Heather's going to speak a little bit about what we're doing, but they're also partners with us on literacy. They're our literacy partner. And again, I thank them for everything they're doing and for their support. I thank everybody for being here today, especially Principal David Souls and the Gilchrist Elementary School for hosting our press conference today. We're here to announce the 2014-2015 Superintendent's 1 Million Book Literacy Challenge. Now, what we're challenging everybody in our community to do is we're trying to reach the goal of 1 million books. Last year, I think we were around 800,000 books, so we've really got to gear it up to make that million mark. If we do make it, you know, then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to let the students at Gilchrist determine what special thing that Principal Souls and I can do together. And I'll let y'all determine that. So if we make this million mark, that I think we will, I think we'll do something special here at Gilchrist. I don't know what we're going to do, if we're going to, you know, but it'll be something creative, but something fun. You know, research shows us how important reading is in education. One thing I want to challenge you, accelerated reader is used throughout the state. 80% of the schools use it. But the goal for me personally as superintendent of schools is I want every student in our school system to learn to love to read. If you learn to love to read, you're going to be a lifelong reader. And that's what's important, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this challenge, is not just to read 1 million books, which is nice, but the goal at the end of that is for every student in our school district to love reading. Because we know if we love reading, we're going to be better readers. So that's the challenge that I have for everybody here. You know, we have a lot of avenues to get there on the 1 million books. One is accelerated reader, book clubs, summer reading, reading pals, novel studies, and so many different creative literacy ideas that are in our schools every day. So there's a lot of avenues for us to reach this goal that I think is very important. One thing I talk a lot about when I'm in schools to students is encouraging you to go home in the evenings and to read with your parents, to make sure that you have that type of opportunity to do that type of reading. Now, how many students do we have here today that do some type of special reading once in a while with your parents? Raise your hand. Man, that is great. That is awesome. So keep that up, because that's very important. And your homework tonight is to let your parents know that the superintendent has a new reading literacy challenge to try to reach 1 million books. Okay, can you do that for me? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. At this time, I'd like to introduce a very special individual who has been a partner with me on education and is an outstanding principal. Let's welcome your principal, David Souls.
I just want to thank Superintendent Pons for making the 1 Million Book Challenge announcement here at Gilchrist Elementary School. When you walk through the door each day, you see smiling faces and you see books. That's what you see in the hands each day. Mr. Souls goes around and we give out grizzly bucks for people who are being respectful, responsible, safe team players. And you know Mr. Souls is always looking for those responsible readers, aren't I? Do I find lots of, who have I found reading before and gotten a grizzly buck from me for reading because I know they were doing their part? Oh yeah, lots of readers in the room. Gilchrist last year read over 68,000 books alone just here at Gilchrist. So that is awesome, and this group right here in front of you is part of that 68,000. So this year we're going to try and raise that level up. You think we can make 70 or 75,000? What do you think, guys? Yes? I think we're up for the challenge. And every year we do something silly or fun as part of the Principals Challenge. We've got an extra participant this year. Our theme this year is reading is magical. So last year, last year I was in a dunking booth, wasn't I? The year before I painted myself green. That was fun to drive around town painted green. And the year before that, or one year I was a clown riding a tricycle through school. I don't know if you guys remember that. So it's been fun. Each year we're always up for a fun challenge. But really, most of all, it's exciting to see children who are excited about reading. A fun thing to do at home, moms and dads too, is to read the same book your child's reading and then talk about it later. Some of you have older students who might want to read on their own. I know at home we've read some of the other books, the Harry Potter books or different fun books, and then talked about it later to see if they could keep up chapter for chapter with mom or dad. Maybe I'll do that with a couple people in this room this year. One of our great partners that we partner up each year is United Way. We have Heather Mitchell here from United Way, and I'm going to introduce her at this time.
So how many of you kids really do love to read? You know what? I'll let you in a little secret. So do I. I'm reading 3 books right now. 3. Isn't that a cool thing that you can read that many at one time? I want to tell you a little story. My little girl was not a very good reader. She had a really hard time reading. And so when she was in 2nd grade, and you all are in 2nd grade, right? You're not? 2nd and 3rd. Oh, but then you're really going to love this story. When she was in 2nd grade, we got her a tutor so that she could learn how to put the words together to understand the sentences. And by the time she got into 3rd grade, she had read the entire series of the Jimmy B. Jones books all by herself. It's pretty cool. Well, she's in 6th grade now, and she just finished reading all of the Harry Potter books, and she loves it. So I hope you guys will continue to read, and United Way is going to help you do that. We are a partner with Leon County Schools. We sort of shifted some of our work a year and a half ago when the community told us, hey, look, the waiting room is getting really full with the basic needs that you all are helping provide services for in the community. How can we slow the flow? And one of the biggest things people pointed to was early literacy. Because if you can learn to read and learn to read really, really good by 3rd grade, the rest of school is easy. If you can figure out how to do that, you'll fly through the rest of it. So how do we do it? We do it a couple different ways. So if you've been a 1st grader, which you've all been a 1st grader, right? Yeah? We gave every single one of you a brand new book. We've been doing that for 4 or 5 years now. It's a lot of books to give in the community. A couple years ago, we started a program called Reading Pals. And when we got the funds to do that program, my little girl was having trouble, just like the students that we try to help through Reading Pals to make sure they understand how to read and can read really well. So to date, United Way has given out over 26,000 books. We're going to really up that number this year, though. So for the challenge, we're going to throw down 10,000 books that United Way is going to provide into the school district this year, into a variety of different schools. In fact, every single elementary school is going to be a part of that. So look for that. We look forward to it, and we appreciate what you all do every day. Your jobs are really hard. Coming and learning to read and figuring out how to make sentences and paragraphs and then tell somebody what you learned from what you read, that's not easy. So thanks for what you all do. And thanks for what you all do for the school district. It's really important. If we can figure out how to get kids reading on grade level by 3rd grade, from then on out, they learn how to do so many other things. That has to be the base for it. If we want kids to graduate from high school, they have to know how to read, and they have to know how to read well. And so we look forward to continuing this walk with you, and thank you for letting us be a part of your challenge.
The Million Book Challenge is so important for all of our schools. As our students enter this great learning environment this year, starting a new school year, we really want to promote reading and ensure that students are not only reading inside the classroom, but outside the classroom, so that they're building those literacy skills.
It's something that the public can get involved in. Literacy is literally everyone's business. If we have a literate community, that speaks very highly of what our expectations are for the community.
If we don't have kids that are educated and that can read and that can do those things in school, that affects your workforce. That affects your local economy. That affects your crime rate. That affects your health insurance. That affects whether people want to move their businesses into your community. And so really it starts here. This is where it begins. And so for United Way, an organization that really looks at the health of the community as a whole, education is one of the very first pieces that you have to have in place for a thriving community.
Well, I think that especially in second grade, this is when reading really starts to take off for these students, and the excitement and just the challenge of getting into chapter books this year. They enjoy reading, and they are always motivated to read when there's a goal at the end. And I think with this book challenge and with things that we do in our classroom, they are motivated to read and to be excellent readers.
Literacy is the key to success for students, and I think it's important to not only get kids reading, but get kids reading for pleasure. And by challenging them to read 1 million books, I think that's bound to happen. And to get these kids reading for enjoyment, reading every day, I think that's going to guarantee their success in the future. And I'm happy to be a part of it. I read with my own kids every night, and I want every kid to have that opportunity to get those 1 million books under our belt.